Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Chandler and I'm currently a second year student studying a Bachelor of Construction Management and Property. I completed the BLDG 1021 course in 2019. BLDG 1021 was one of the most enjoyable courses that I've done so far as it is a different approach to learning. During the course I received 100% in my group assignment work, and so today I'll be sharing my advice on how to complete the assignment, and I'll also be showing you examples of my group's work. Firstly, I'd like to start off by giving you a general overview on the assignment. Based off my experience from last year, the group assignment may seem a bit daunting as you're working with new people and there are several components to complete. I assure you that the assignment can be very easy and enjoyable. Given that everyone is in a group of 10 people and there is quite a long period of time to complete the work, there really is quite a light workload for all. If everyone works as a team, it is very easy to achieve a high distinction or full marks in the assignment. To complete the assignment, groups will be using the WIKI page, which is found on Moodle. The group WIKI page is very user-friendly and self-explanatory to navigate. To make changes, all you have to do is click Edit section. The key thing to note about WIKI is that one person can use it at a time. For me personally, I wrote my sections in a Word document and copied and pasted them over to WIKI every time I made an edit. This is a good idea to ensure that the tutor can see your progress and no work would be lost. Finally, with all the detailed information on the assignment brief, I would recommend to look at previous year's videos. This way you can get an idea of what the video component is asking for, and you can get some information and inspiration for your chosen project. If you're still unsure of what is going on, don't be afraid to ask for help. I'll provide my email at the end for any questions that you may have. Moving on to my group's example. What I'm showing you on the screen is part of my assignment video from last year. There is a playlist available on your Moodle page to watch other examples as well. As a group, we wanted our video to be entertaining and creative rather than a standstill video of us talking to the camera. Our group voice recorded our sections at home and just then added the videos underneath to match. That way, we didn't have to film us talking in public or memorize any parts. And if any information had to be changed, it didn't mean refilming. As you can see, our group selected the Sydney Light Rail project. We visited various sites, areas of the site for filming. To add creativity, we used a green screen effect, drone shots which were found online, screenshots as well as panning shots as we pretended to be our chosen roles. Filming was definitely a fun experience, so I would recommend trying to make it as fun as possible. It is important to know what content you must put into the video. I have broken this down into two parts as you can see on the screen. Within the video, you must give an introduction to your project role. All members will be required to choose a role which can be found in the assignment brief or on the WIKI page. These roles include project director, site manager, foreman, and so on. If you're unsure of the role you have chosen, you can look up the description on sites like Seek for Help. As an example, I was the site manager. I spoke about my roles and responsibilities as well as some of the problems and successes that might have occurred in the areas of my responsibility. In the video, you will also need to relate your job to your specific project. For me, this meant describing what the site manager job entailed when working on the Sydney Light Rail project and relating this back to what I've said earlier. The oral discussion in the video will be marked, so if you are still unsure, watching the YouTube playlist of ideas of videos will give you a better idea of what you have to do. When completing the team video, I have some important pieces of advice. Firstly, I would recommend completing the individual section before you film. This year, the individual section on WIKI will not be marked, but it can be used to draft notes. Our group didn't do this, so we had to refilm and try to fill the gaps with repeated clips. By finishing the individual section first, you'll have a greater understanding of what you want your video to look like. 2. Have an idea of what you want to film. Our group also didn't do this. When filming, we wasted a lot of time thinking of ideas, deciding where to film, and things that we needed to say. Filming ultimately took us most of a day when it really could have been just an hour. 3. Make your video different. Try to use a nice camera, props maybe, and avoid filming in the wind. Find other sources of footage online, for example, drone shots or screenshots of your wiki to change things up a bit. Next, we have our group written component. Each member will need to write a different section. Note that each section is only 400 to 500 words, so it's very achievable. I will quickly clarify what each section is about and provide examples of how my group completed this section. Firstly, project objectives. On the screen, I have displayed an example of my group's work from last year. This page answers the question, what was the purpose of conducting the project? Our group determined for the Sydney Light Rail project, the key purpose was to reduce reliance and accommodate for future economic growth for employment, and so on. I would also recommend including as many figures and images and tables as possible to help with your work. For project efficiency management, this section focuses on Muda analysis, which is learnt during the lectures. As per example on the screen, we provided an overview of Muda discussing the 7 principles of Muda. Then we provided an analysis of how those principles are going to impact our project. So this was done for the Sydney Light Rail project. Next, project risks. This section is new for this year, but groups are going to need to identify the potential risk in your project and identify the methods to mitigate these risks involved. Plant equipment requirements. For my group's plant equipment section, our group explored what plant equipment was required at different stages of the project. We also provided an analysis of this, which meant looking at what is the type of excavator is the best choice for the project and what is the reason for this. You will also need to complete an executive summary. The executive summary is essentially a summary of each section that I have discussed earlier. The executive summary is found at the top of the wiki page, but I would recommend writing this till last. Okay, for the written component sections, the main pieces of advice I would offer are 1. Stay on top of the work. By just adding a bit of text each week, it will ensure that the work is getting completed on time. I'd also recommend setting goals. For us, our project manager really controlled the group in goal setting. 2. Be specific to your selected project. Using a range of sources will improve the quality of your work. You can even try to reach out to someone who is working on your chosen project. 3. Communicate with your team. I understand that it's hard during COVID, but communicating with your team makes the assignment very easy, and plus it's good to meet new people and make some friends, as cheesy as that may sound. Finally, I'm going to quickly discuss the learning reflection component of your assignment. The learning reflection component of the assignment is worth 5% of the group project. The reflection will focus on one of the lecturer's online apps. The Faculty of Built Environment Excavator Digital Twin app I'm showing on the screen can be used as the core topic of your learning reflection essay. It is encouraged to produce a creative excavator video by considering risk and safety. You could use something you find at home, for example a rock, to obstruct the excavator. Then you could demonstrate how safely an excavator can work or how productive it is per minute. That concludes my presentation for today. Please remember the assignment is an enjoyable and easy process. There is no need to feel stressed or worried about it. I've provided my email on the screen if anyone needs clarification or advice, and I look forward to working with groups over the next couple of weeks.